votes was maintained, preventing the second place from surpassing. Yang Yi smoothly secured the first place in the voting. It was that simple. The champion of the 89th Asian beauty pageant, Yang Yi, was directly awarded the title, and the television station is already broadcasting it. In front of him, Yang Yi was acting cute, crouching down and showing her beautiful face, which had a bit of dirt on it. Qin Fei, with a playful smile, enjoyed the moment. Especially with her star-like face, he raised his hand and patted her cheek, saying, "Baby, I spent $5 million to help you secure the title of Miss Hong Kong. This is my investment in you, and I need you to help me earn it back." Yang Yi immediately started to act cute towards him, looking extremely flattering. "Cousin, whatever you want me to do in the future, I will do it. I won't let you down. You spent money to buy votes for me. You're so good to me. I must help you earn it back." Yang Yi's expression turned serious, as if she was saying this to herself. After all, Qin Fei had invested 5 million Hong Kong dollars in her, which was a huge amount. She was truly touched. With such a wonderful cousin, what else could she be dissatisfied with? From now on, she needed to listen more to her cousin and must not make him angry. Yang Yi was genuinely afraid that Qin Fei would make her leave. Everything she had in Hong Kong, what she ate, used, and where she lived, was all thanks to Qin Fei. Thus, she was completely in Qin Fei's grasp. Unless he agreed, she truly couldn't leave. This was also why Qin Fei was willing to invest in her. Watching Yang Yi obediently continue to flatter him, Qin Fei enjoyed her service. The service from the Asian beauty champion was something no one else could experience besides him. A car pulled up at the Fushi Donglai restaurant. Even with countless luxury cars at the entrance, this Lamborghini still attracted attention. The valet, who had been waiting, immediately stepped forward. With a warm expression, he opened the car door and greeted, "Sir, do you need parking?" Qin Fei waved his hand, tossing a 100 Hong Kong dollar bill, which made the valet even more enthusiastic. "Sir, leave the car to me. I'll park it properly. You're here to dine with friends, right?" Qin Fei accompanied Yang Yi out of the car, and it was obvious that Yang Yi's beauty stunned the valet for a moment. Not far away, some people were also watching. Upon seeing Yang Yi, a few recognized her and whispered among themselves, "Isn't that the Asian beauty pageant champion? Wow, I didn't expect her to quickly get involved with a rich young man. Don't say too much. I heard that this rich young man spent millions of Hong Kong dollars to buy votes for her. Now, being a beauty pageant champion is nothing compared to before. Votes can be casually bought. It's really a mess. Just envy. Others are rich and can make their girlfriends beauty pageant winners just for fun. They drive limited edition supercars worth tens of millions. They don't lack this little money." A group of people kept discussing, making Yang Yi feel very proud. She loved the feeling of being the center of attention. Proudly, she tilted her head back, wearing the high-end dress that Qin Fei had bought for her. She was no longer the girl from the mainland. Here, no one dared to call her that. She was the girlfriend of a rich young man and the champion of the Hong Kong beauty pageant. Many men looked at her with crazy expressions, making her very happy. She tightly held on Qin Fei's hand, enjoying the attention as they walked into the restaurant. Up to now, she was still quite excited. "Cousin, I didn't expect that in less than a day, I would be so famous. Wow, amazing. Hee hee. I wonder what will be like when I become a big star." Qin Fei glanced at her and said, "This is just a small scene. Once you become a big star, people will line up to ask for your autograph." Yang Yi looked curious, unable to believe it. "Really, cousin? I want to be a big star." Yang Yi definitely wanted to be a big star. Otherwise, how would she pay back the money he invested? He planned to give her a signing contract, and now that Yang Yi's fame was rising, pushing her a bit further would definitely make her very popular. In fact, the entertainment industry in Hong Kong had already weakened, but its status remained. As long as she made a name for herself in Hong Kong's entertainment industry, she could develop even better in the mainland. He planned to help Yang Yi gain fame in Hong Kong before going to the mainland, which would also be of great help to her. Thinking about all this, they entered the restaurant and arrived at the reserved private room. As soon as he arrived, a group of classmates gradually came over. These people were originally just ordinary workers in Hong Kong. Most of them earned a monthly salary of 30,000 to 50,000, which was a fixed income. They couldn't afford to buy a house in Hong Kong, and the places they rented were very small. They dreamed of owning a house in Hong Kong in their lifetime. But the cost of living in Hong Kong was too high. Even just going out for a meal or gathering started at a few thousand Hong Kong dollars. Especially dining in such a large restaurant. Without a real rich person treating, it was truly unaffordable. This meal could cost around 100 people at least 100,000 Hong Kong dollars. And with drinks, it would reach over 200,000 Hong Kong dollars. Who could afford this? If it weren't for Qin Fei inviting them, they truly wouldn't dare to eat at Fushidonglai. Seeing Qin Fei, everyone was extremely enthusiastic. In their eyes, Qin Fei was a real successful person, far surpassing those who had entered listed companies or large enterprises. People like Wang Peng, who earned 50,000 a month, were not worthy of comparing with Qin Fei. Brother Qin, is that Lamborghini outside yours? It looks so cool. Can I touch it later? Wow, Brother Qin, you're really impressive. Is this lady your girlfriend? Isn't she the champion of the Hong Kong beauty pageant? It really is her. I just saw her on TV. She won the championship with a huge lead of 90,000 votes. Miss Yang, can I have your autograph? Seeing Yang next to Qin Fei, the crowd was even more surprised. A beauty pageant champion as a girlfriend. They understood now why Qin Fei was so wealthy. Others had extraordinary girlfriends, and taking them out raised Qin Fei's status entirely. Feeling the envious gazes from the crowd, Qin Fei's face was full of confidence. This life was different from the last. He remembered how he only became successful at 30. Before that, he was often ridiculed by these people, being ostracized at class reunions. Wang Peng was originally the focus of the reunion because he worked at a large listed company with an annual salary over 600,000 Hong Kong dollars, which could exceed 1,000,000 Hong Kong dollars. He was the most likely to buy a house in Hong Kong. But now it was different. He had already reserved a luxury villa worth 900 million Hong Kong dollars and was driving a Lamborghini worth over 10 million. He was holding the Hong Kong beauty pageant champion girlfriend in his arms. He was the most dazzling presence here. Not far away, he could see Wang Peng's envious gaze. Watching him with gritted teeth, he realized now that the gap between him and Qin Fei was too large. It was impossible not to envy someone who drove a supercar and had such a beautiful girlfriend. Besides, Yu Gao's voice was even louder, laughing as he said, "Brother Qin, you have really made it. You're way better than us who earn fixed salaries. If you start a company in the future, remember me. You must promote me." Qin Fei calmly nodded, giving a promise. "Don't worry. When I start a company, I'll let you manage a department. A monthly salary of 1,000,000 is nothing." Yu Gao's expression was excited. He never expected Qin Fei to be so generous, and he believed Qin Fei could definitely fulfill it. Right away, they started to flatter and please him. "Brother Qin, thank you so much. I wish you and your sister-in-law a lifetime of happiness and early blessings. From now on, I'll rely on you, Brother Qin." The other classmates were also excited, gathering closer to flatter him. "Brother Qin, my salary is too low right now. Please take me to the next level. I also want to buy a house in Hong Kong and have a monthly salary over 1,000,000. Brother Qin, if you need anything in the future, you must find me. Young Master Qin, I doubted you in the group, and I was wrong. Please don't hold grudges about the past. If there's anything I can help with, please let me know." This group of classmates was indeed realistic. Upon hearing that Qin Fei wanted to start a company and offer 1,000,000 annual salary, they rushed to flatter him. Even Wang Peng approached with a flattering expression. Hearing Qin Fei promise 1,000,000 annual salary, he couldn't hold back any longer and said to Qin Fei, "Brother Qin, I'm currently at a listed company, and my annual salary is less than 600,000. Rent is 10,000 a month. Life in Hong Kong is so difficult for me. I also want a monthly salary over 1,000,000, and I'm familiar with company management. If you're starting a company, you must find me." The other party was flattering him, which Qin Fei hadn't expected. He smirked and looked over coldly. "Oh, Wang Peng, didn't you say in the group that I couldn't keep making money? How could I afford someone like you?" Wang Peng wanted to cry and quickly apologized. "Brother Qin, that wasn't my true feeling. I really admire you. You can already buy a luxury apartment in Hong Kong, while I'm still living in a small room of less than 30 square meters. Of course, if Qin Fei hadn't relied on predicting the Hong Kong stock market, he wouldn't be better off than the person in front of him. Continuing to live in that small room, he wouldn't be able to take good care of Qin Yao. But now, he was no longer the same. With a calm expression, he glanced at the other party without answering, and Qin Fei took Yang Yi into the private room. He invited a group of classmates to dinner, making Wang Peng regret it immensely. If he had known, he wouldn't have spoken carelessly in the group. Now he had offended Qin Fei, and his chances of rising to success in the future were reduced. Yu Gao, who had a good relationship with Qin Fei, sat down next to him and even got Qin Fei's personal contact information. He was envied by a group of classmates. They wished they could replace him. Having such a wealthy person as a classmate made them feel that the opportunity to cling to the big shot might slip away at any moment. Chapter 20: The Birth of Penguin Game Company. On the way home, Yang Yi smiled at Qin Fei and said, "Cousin, your classmates really admire you. Wow. Those female classmates look at you with different eyes." Qin Fei replied calmly, "They like rich people. In Hong Kong, as long as you have money, you won't lack for these flatterers." Yang Yi smiled and leaned closer, acting coyly. "It's not that I like your money, I really like you." Her eyes sparkled, and she looked serious. Qin Fei smiled, but said nothing. After all, he understood very well that without money, he could never provide Yang Yi with the life she wanted. Whether Yang Yi would still be as obedient as she was now was uncertain. In Hong Kong, as long as you have money, there is nothing you can't do. He wanted to change his life and alter Qin Yao's fate. He needed more funds. The money he had was far from enough to achieve his goals. He opened his computer, told Yang Yi to watch TV and not cling to him. He began his predictive trading for the day. Even without the system, he knew the Hang Seng Index would definitely fall. But the system could assist him, allowing him to accurately know the extent of the Hang Seng Index's decline, predicting every precise point. Because Hong Kong stocks could be traded in real time, knowing these points would maximize profits. Thus, he spent 2 hours predicting the Hang Seng Index, which was still falling from 15,000 points. The prediction was successful. 2 hours later, the Hang Seng Index dropped to 14,000 points. Another drop of 1,000 points indicated a significant storm in Hong Kong stocks. He invested 180 million Hong Kong dollars, seizing a point. From 15,600 points down to 15,100 points, he directly made a 20 profit, a single yield of 30 million Hong Kong dollars. Then after a rise of 100 points, another 4 profit. Profits exceeded 10 million HKD. And through repeated operations, when the Hang Seng Index fell to 14,800 points, he had made profits 3 times. He achieved a profit of 100 million Hong Kong dollars. Holding 300 million Hong Kong dollars in funds, a single 10 fluctuation could yield 30 million Hong Kong dollars in profit, and now at 14,800, it continued to fall. There was at least another 500-point drop, which meant over 20 profit could be made through several operations. He felt reaching 500 million Hong Kong dollars was hopeful. Making several hundred million HKD in a day was easy. As he continued trading, the CEO of Penguin Company sent him a message after staying in Hong Kong for less than a day. Back in the mainland, after this experience, he planned to establish Penguin Game Company. The idea was simple. After online chatting, they would venture into online gaming, planning to acquire foreign game agency rights. This guy had a good idea. "Mr. Ma, Mr. Qin, I think several overseas online games are quite good. We can acquire them and then release them. Online games will definitely be a big hit." Qin Fei thought about it and felt the same, smiling as he gave him a direction. "Qin Fei, you can look for game agencies in South Korea. I know a good DNF game that we can acquire the agency rights for." "Mr. Ma, I'll look into it now." Soon, he gathered information and excitedly messaged him. "Mr. Ma, Mr. Qin, this game is indeed very interesting. If we bring it to China, it will definitely explode. This time, our company will surely rise. Qin Fei, release this game well. Penguin Games will definitely become the best game company in China. Mr. Ma, wishing our company smooth sailing." He was very satisfied with Mr. Ma's realization. Now, with the establishment of Penguin Game Company, Penguin Group was officially on the right track. For example, the Penguin Mini Game Hall brought significant activity to the Penguin app. Not to mention the DNF game they were acquiring. It would become a cash cow for Penguin Company. Indeed, it was a cash cow. This game would continuously generate profits for Penguin over the next few decades, becoming a major brand in Penguin Games. It was even more impressive than a money printing machine, with monthly profits in the tens of billions and annual profits in the hundreds of billions. Online gaming was a great direction, especially in the domestic market of 2008. Developing games was a good choice. As long as he provided a direction, the other party could follow his ideas. Now, they just needed to wait for the game effects to come out. After chatting, he didn't forget to make a move. With the Hang Seng Index dropping to 14,000 points, he earned a total asset of over 500 million Hong Kong dollars. 521 million Hong Kong dollars was in hand. And now fluctuations in Hong Kong led several financial institutions to declare bankruptcy. Most importantly, he saw that the TVB shares being broadcasted on the TV station were also starting to decline. This old television company was actually seeing its shares fall. The Hang Seng Index dropped to 14,000 points, a record low for Hong Kong stocks, with financial losses evaporating in the thousands of billions HKD. And TVB's long-maintained myth of stock prices was also falling. This time, it was very likely that the decline would exceed 20. A drop of over 20 truly made Qin Fei feel tempted, thinking that once he had money, he would definitely buy all the shares of TVB. Eventually, acquiring TVB would mean he could truly count as a wealthy person in Hong Kong. Right now, with assets of only 500 million Hong Kong dollars, he could only be considered an ordinary person with some wealth. He was still far from his goal. After getting the 500 million Hong Kong dollars, he picked up his phone and called Yang Fong. This uncle had helped him a lot, and he would not forget him. As soon as the call connected, Yang Fong spoke first, joyfully mentioning something. Xiao Fei, Yang, you won the Hong Kong beauty pageant champion. Was that you? You didn't even tell me. This time, you really spent a lot. You spent quite a bit helping her buy tickets, right? Qin Fei responded lightly. Not much, just under 5 million Hong Kong dollars. Yang Fong was astonished. His face filled with disbelief. 5 million Hong Kong dollars? That's too much. That's quite a sum. Almost 4 million renminbi. Hey, why did you spend so much on her? He knew that in Beijing, 5 million Hong Kong dollars was not a small amount, but in Hong Kong, it wasn't much for the rich. Qin Fei replied calmly, Uncle Fong, spending 5 million to help Xiao gain a reputation is worthwhile. Recently, I made quite a bit of money. How about you stop running around Beijing and Hong Kong for purchasing and help me manage the business instead? Yang Fong was curious. What business? What do you plan to do? Qin Fei smiled. I plan to buy several buildings in Beijing to collect rent. Yang Fong was not very optimistic and couldn't help but speak up upon hearing Qin Fei's words. Buying several buildings? Don't go overboard. Rent is very low now. You don't know how long it will take to collect rent. Beijing is not like Hong Kong. 100 square meters is just over 1,000 a month. Now it's only 1,000 a month. In the future, it could be 10,000 a month. Chapter 21, buying several buildings in Beijing at this point. Yang Fong didn't understand. He felt that Qin Fei wanting to buy real estate was a waste. It would be better to invest in opening a few factories. Qin Fei's expression was calm as he explained, Uncle Fong, we need to think long-term. China is just getting started, and many cities are developing now, like Beijing. It's close to Xianjiang and is a coastal trade hub. Do you think the property prices in this city will be low in the future? This time, Yang Fong fell silent. Moreover, Qin Fei continued. Take Shinshui Bay, for example. It's separated from Xianjiang by the sea, and you can see the distance at a glance. One side has property prices of 50,000 Hong Kong dollars per square foot, and the other side in the mainland Beijing is only 5,000 per square meter. Don't you think those workers from Xianjiang would want to buy in the mainland? Indeed, this is the expectation of future homebuyers in Xianjiang. If they can't buy in Xianjiang, they will definitely head to the mainland. When that time comes, it will definitely drive up property prices in the mainland. Currently, the price difference between Xianjiang and Beijing is about tenfold. Can't wealthy people see that the distance is so short? How could there be such a tenfold disparity? After he pointed this out, Yang Fong immediately understood. So, it means that there is still room for property prices in the mainland to rise. Xiao Fei right now, the fluctuations in the Xianjiang stock market are causing property prices to drop. Don't you think the prices will continue to fall? Qin Fei sneered. Rich people want to let them fall to the bottom. Just like Li Chaoren, he only sold 2 buildings, just 2. It doesn't shake his foundation. You have to know there are too many wealthy people in Xianjiang. Here, earning 15,000 a month is just a part-time job. Property prices want to fall. As the most expensive place for real estate globally, even if property prices in Xinjiang drop, they won't drop too much. If they do fall, they will rise again. He understands this, which is why he dares to buy properties at low prices. As long as you buy, you will make a profit. The Xinjiang property market will definitely rebound after the 2008 financial crisis. Yang Feng now understood Qin Fei's vision. Compared to him, Qin Fei's insights were indeed much sharper. He exclaimed, "Xiao Fei, I understand now. The Xinjiang property market won't drop, and our property prices in Beijing will definitely rise. As long as the Xinjiang property market stabilizes, property prices here will surely soar. I'll take my savings and buy a few commercial properties." With this realization, he decided to use his savings to buy properties. This is definitely better than leaving it in the bank. In 2008, property prices in the mainland were less than 5,000 per square meter. With such prices, taking out a loan to buy a house is worthwhile. Qin Fei planned to buy several buildings for rental income. And once Beijing develops, these buildings will be worth a lot. He could rent them out for hundreds of millions a year. He definitely wanted to buy more to hold on to. He was determined to make this trip to the mainland. After contacting Yang Feng, he finalized his plan and prepared to set off. Since the high-speed train was not operational in 2008, he could only take a boat to Beijing. Qin Fei bought a ticket and said goodbye to Yang Yi and Qin Yao at the dock. The two girls felt a bit reluctant. "Brother, are you really going to the mainland? When will you come back?" "Cousin, after you get there, call my dad, and he will come pick you up." Qin Fei smiled, ruffled Qin Yao's hair, and said, "I'll be back in about a day. There's servants at home, so if anything happens, just call me. And you, practice your acting skills recently. When I come back, I'll help you invest in a movie." Yang Yi nodded happily, a smile spreading across her face. In fact, she also wanted to accompany Qin Fei back, but she had other things to do and couldn't go. She still needed to learn acting to improve herself and help her cousin make a lot of money. Qin Yao also wanted to go, but traveling back and forth would be too tiring. Qin Fei didn't want her to get exhausted. Otherwise, what was the point of making money? So he firmly disagreed, waiting until he had enough money to buy a private jet to take Qin Yao to have fun. Now holding the boat ticket, he boarded the boat heading to Beijing, which swayed. It took about 2 hours. However, after 2 hours, Qin Fei felt a bit dizzy. The difference between the mainland and Xinjiang, separated by a river, was indeed vast. After disembarking, the ticket inspector kept calling him comrade. Qin Fei felt as if he had returned to the 1980s. Of course, it wasn't that different. In fact, by 2008, Beijing had already developed, with various highways constructed and subways built and opened. Everything was undergoing significant changes. Stepping into the city of Beijing, Qin Fei let out a long sigh of relief. In an instant, he felt enlightened and full of energy. Looking at the constantly rising skyscrapers, he was filled with ambition. He was determined to start his career here. Seizing the opportunity, he aimed to make more and more money in this city filled with golden prospects. As soon as he got off the boat, his phone rang. A call came in. It was Yang Feng, who was already waiting in the parking lot in his car. After walking a few steps, Qin Fei saw Yang Feng's Audi S, a car worth about 200,000 RMB, which is quite prestigious in the mainland. In Beijing, there were many more business owners driving Audis compared to those driving BMWs and Mercedes. "Xiao Fei, your aunt has been waiting for you for half a day." "Haha, she has already prepared the dishes and is waiting for you to eat. By the way, hasn't Ti come back? That girl is really troublesome over there." Qin Fei smiled as he opened the car door and got in. Yang Yi won the beauty pageant recently and needs to practice her acting skills more. When I come back, I'll continue to help package her. Her becoming a big star is much better than working. Yang Feng laughed heartily as he drove, saying, "We owe it all to you, Xiao Fei. Your aunt said if it weren't for you, Yi wouldn't have become the beauty pageant champion. It's tough to find a job in Xinjiang, and now she could become a big star. We are benefiting too. How could a father not be happy and excited when his daughter becomes a big star?" Thinking about it, Yang Feng laughed heartily. After bringing Qin Fei back, they arrived at his residential building, which was allocated by the former workplace, totaling 120 square meters. It was a walk-up apartment in an old community. However, even such an old apartment would start at an average price of 100,000 in the future. Because of the excellent location of Yang Feng's apartment, if possible, Qin Fei would want to buy such an old building. At 120 square meters, with minimal shared space, the sixth floor was quite well kept. Knowing he was coming, his aunt had prepared a table full of dishes early in the morning. Seeing Qin Fei, she welcomed him with a smile. "Xiao Fei, you're here. Look, I haven't finished preparing the dishes yet. Hurry up and sit down. You've been on the boat for a few hours and must be tired. Rest a bit. We'll eat first and then talk about other things." After speaking, she went to the kitchen to get busy, creating a very warm atmosphere that Qin Fei truly enjoyed. Sitting on the sofa, he started chatting with Yang Feng, and naturally, the first topic was about buying buildings and where to buy them. "Xiao Fei, where do you want to buy the buildings? The economic gap between the inner and outer areas is quite large now. There are only 2 districts in the inner area, but their average prices are also high." He suddenly remembered that Beijing was divided into inner and outer areas, with only 2 special districts in the inner area, Fujian and Le. The property prices in these 2 districts would be very high in the future, and of course, prices in other districts wouldn't be low either. He is more optimistic about Fujian. With a smile, he directly said, "As for the area inside the city, I want to buy a building here in Fujian, preferably near the city center, and it would be best if it can connect to the subway in the future." Yang Feng nodded and replied seriously, "That's for sure. I have a friend who happens to know about the recently opened subway community buildings that are for sale. I'll call and ask when the time comes." Qin Fei's eyes lit up, and his smile grew even wider. "That would be great. Thank you, Uncle Yang." Yang Feng laughed heartily and said, "I should be the one thanking you. Once you buy a building, let me help you collect the rent, and I won't have to run to Beijing anymore. Plus, if he becomes a big star, our family will really prosper." Not far away, Auntie was preparing the meal and, hearing their conversation, chimed in with a smile. "Yes, if he becomes a big star, we will really prosper. Xiao Fei, I heard that big stars in Beijing are very highly valued. Those 4 heavenly kings and several famous divas are worth a lot. A single advertisement can cost several million RMB." Hearing Auntie's words, Qin Fei's lips curved into a smile as he replied, "Auntie, the entertainment industry in the mainland is also quite powerful. With Yang Yi's talent, if she really becomes a big star, not to mention advertisements, a movie would cost no less than several hundred million to hire her." Auntie was momentarily stunned, unable to believe that figure. Several hundred million? Not to mention RMB. Even in Hong Kong dollars, that's a lot of money. In the city of Beijing, only a few billionaires are truly wealthy. Ordinary people can't even imagine it. "Xiao Fei, you're not joking, right? REE can earn several hundred million from a movie? How much can a box office in Hong Kong bring in? How could she possibly earn that much?" The Hong Kong entertainment industry has long been in decline, while the mainland entertainment industry has just started. This is a great opportunity for development. Several hundred million for a movie is really not much, but one must know that in the entertainment industry, the calculation unit is based on the scale. A TV drama, one scale. That's real money-making. As they chatted, Yang Feng and Andy became very hopeful about Yang Yi becoming a big star. They were truly surprised by Qin Fei's mention of several hundred million in fees. Right now, they couldn't imagine what kind of movie could spend so much money hiring a star. Is the mainland entertainment industry truly more promising than the Hong Kong entertainment industry? Only Qin Fei understood this. After finishing dinner at Yang Feng's home, Yang Feng quickly contacted his friend and took Qin Fei to look at properties for purchase. The real estate market in 2008 is indeed low. Li Chaoren is selling 2 prime locations for 50 billion Hong Kong dollars. However, here a property next to the subway station costs only 5 million renminbi. It has 12 floors and over 30 residential units. Each residential unit is less than 200,000 RMB. The difference is too great. It would be a waste not to buy a few and hold on to them for appreciation. This is free money. How could one possibly refuse? Riding in Yang Feng's Audi, they arrived at the location. Upon meeting Yang Feng's developer friend, the latter was very enthusiastic upon hearing that someone wanted to buy a building, especially since they never expected it would be for an entire building. "Brother Yang, this is your friend from Hong Kong. He is truly young and promising, capable of buying an entire building at such a young age. That's impressive." Upon hearing he was from Hong Kong, the other party showed great respect. knowing that everyone from Hong Kong is wealthy. Being able to settle there must mean he is a big